Is this thing on? Oh, okay, let's go. Hey there, bookworms. Welcome to Pouring Over Books, a podcast where we dive into the books we love and maybe a few we didn't. I'm your host, LaShawn, and every week I'll be deep diving into what I'm reading, recommendations, and talking about all the things that we love about books. So grab your favorite coffee or tea, find a cozy spot, and let's get ready to pour over some great books together. Okay, talk soon. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Point of a Books podcast. I am LaShawn, your host, and happy December. Please excuse me, I have like this frog in my throat that I have had for the last hour and cannot get rid of. But anyway, happy December. Can you believe that it is already the last month of the year? I personally cannot. I mean, Thanksgiving was great. Thanksgiving week was great. My mom was here, and my son's 16th birthday was the day before Thanksgiving. He is actually a turkey baby. He was born on Thanksgiving via emergency C-section, but that's neither here nor there. He was my little turkey. Anyway, my little turkey turned 16, and he had a marvelous birthday week. He is an only child. He is the oldest grandchild of my mother, and he is spoiled rotten by his parents, aunties, grandparents, etc. So he had a fabulous week, and we had a fabulous week giving him a fabulous week. It's the beginning of the month, and it is time to discuss what I read last month. And this month, I also want to chit chat about a few gifts for book lovers. And at the end, I want to talk about the Porno Books Book Club because I want everybody to know about that because I would love for everyone to join us next year. So I read 13 books last month, and I have to say it was really a fabulous reading month. Out of those 13 books, only two got a rating below 4. And both of them was like, one was like a 3.5 and the other one was a 3.75. So that's actually pretty good for me because normally, if I just think a book is okay, like it's nothing bad or nothing good about the book, I just give it a 3. But the fact that everything was above a 3, actually, that everything was above a 3.5, that's an excellent month. I'm going to talk about 5 of the books. They aren't my top 5. I think I've talked about some of them already, but I want to talk about the ones that I did love that I haven't talked about last month. So let's get into it. The first book I want to talk to you about is I, Medusa by Ayanna Gray. Let me just get into the premise. Anyway, Medea has always felt overshadowed by her immortal family and longs for a life of her own. When Athena, the goddess, invites her to Athens to train as a priestess, she finally finds purpose and power until Poseidon's unwanted attention shatters her future. Wrongly punished for a crime she didn't commit, Medea is transformed into Medusa. Her locks, yes, Medusa in this story is black. Her locks are turned into snakes, and forced to rebuild herself, she embraces her new identity as a survivor and as a symbol determined to reclaim her story from the gods who tried to destroy her. My thoughts. As a lover of Greek mythology, I could not initially wait to get my hands on this book. Medusa has always been seen as a bad character, one to be defeated because, everyone knows how the story ends. Perseus cut off her head. She could give you a look and her hair was snakes and her eyes, one look from her eyes could turn you into stone and basically kill you. There are many, many versions of the origin story of Medusa, and I was interested to see how the author would interpret her in this book. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the background. I enjoyed the way this story flowed about how Medea became a priestess and ended up cursed to be Medusa. And the buildup was very well done. Even when she became Medusa, how she gained her independence and how she took back herself. I was invested in her journey, even though you know how it ends. I enjoyed it. But I will say, the reason this book did not get a 5 for me is I enjoyed this book up until the very end, but the ending felt abrupt. I felt like she had reached like this good point, this good place, and then it ended. Or her story ended. Her side of the story ended, you might want to say. It continued on, like we learned what happened after, but it was through her sister's eyes. And that kind of threw me. It was just not my favorite way. But despite that, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I think I took off because of the way it ended. Otherwise, this was an excellent book and I highly recommend it. The next book that I read last month was Blind Date with a Werewolf by Patricia Briggs. When deadly werewolf Aesel is gifted with 5 blind dates by some anonymous friends, his reclusive life will never be the same. Dear Aesel, I can't, I have to just give you this part. Dear Aesel, this is on the back of the book. We are worried about you. A werewolf alone is a sad thing, especially at Christmas time. So we have a challenge for you. 5 dates in 3 weeks. We have taken the work out of it and connected you with 5 people from online dating sites. You should also know that we have informed the pact and instigated a betting pool. Have fun. Sincerely, your concerned friends. This also includes 2 all new stories as well as 3 previously published stories. My thoughts. I am what you might say call a rabid fan of Patricia Briggs' books about the world of Mercy Thompson, which this book is a part of. I will literally read anything from this universe, including this book of short stories, even though I personally hate short stories, y'all. Aesel, whom this book features, has always been one of my favorite characters in the series. So I was delighted, to say the least, with this set of stories and with the ending, which it was the perfect little journey back into the world of Mercy Thompson, and I cannot wait for the next Alpha and Omega book and the next Mercy Thompson book. I believe there's no word of a Mercy Thompson book, but I do believe that next year she has an Alpha and Omega book, which Aesel is a bigger part of that universe in. So I'm looking forward to that because there were some loose ends in the last book that I really want to follow up with. However, I'm going to be honest and say I would not recommend this book to anyone to start here with this exact book unless you have read the rest of the series. Specifically, like I said earlier, the Alpha and Omega part of the Mercy Thompson universe, which is where Aesel is a main character. It will help your understanding and ultimately your enjoyment of this book if you have read that series. That's what I'm going to say about that. Again, I gave this also a 4 out of 5. It was excellent. I had a good time. The next book that I read that I want to talk about last month was Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh. The premise: in a society where the Psy are forbidden from feeling anything, Asha Duncan hides the emotions that could doom her to rehabilitation, a complete psychic erasure of herself. Lucas Hunter, sensual changeling Alpha, is driven to uncover the side responsible for murdering women in his pack. Using Sasha as his way into Psy society, he expects an unfeeling ally until he discovers the fire that she fiercely suppresses. As war looms between their races, Luca and Sasha are drawn to each other in dangerous forbidden bond. To survive, they must choose between loyalty to their worlds and a passion that could destroy them both. I am literally obsessed with Nalini Singh's Guild Hunter series. I think I've talked about it before, which is unfortunately coming to an end next year after 20 books. It is, I guess, going to be a natural conclusion because I can see one of our main characters has done what he was supposed to do, and I guess it is time to end it. But anyway, so I had heard that her other series, this one, was just as good, so I decided to start it. And yes, it is so good. So good that I ordered the next 5 books in the series off of Thrift Books. And I got them, they came yesterday. This series started in the early 2000s also, so there are a lot of them, just like there were of the Guild Hunter series. I am currently in book 2, and yes, I love it. I will say that it is more in line of how romance novels were written in the late 90s and early 2000s. And if you have read a romance novel from the early 2000s, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It's just a little different than romance novels read now. But it is excellent. They are excellent writing, excellent story. And for me, with books like this, I love that there is another story besides the romance. I love romance novels, but I grew up reading romance novels that also had a side plot that was just as important. So I'm loving these books, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5, and that is why I am currently on book 2. I think I'm like 60% through it. It's good. Anyway, the next book that is on my list that I read last month was Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. Arc, LA's most sought after, one of LA's most sought after songwriters, has lost her ability to write. Hoping to find inspiration, she returns home to Vienna Shores, North Carolina, only to discover everything is falling apart. Her best friend is hiding something, her mother's memory is slipping, and her family's music venue is closing. Then Joni begins hearing a half formed melody and the irresistible voice of a musician who shouldn't exist. When a very real, very guarded man arrives claiming the same haunting song, they must finish it together and confront the secrets and unexpected connection binding them. Oh my God, y'all. I loved this book. It was so sweet and so heartbreaking and so lovely all at once. This is like, I think, my third Ashley Poston book. And I remember reading her first one and I didn't think I was going to like it. And I loved it, strangely. And then the second one, I really loved her last one. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was good. And this one was really good too. So now I think I'm a fan. I think now she is an automatic buy for me because this was just so good. And although this year feels like maybe this is like the third book this year that I've read where the main character's mom has suffered from dementia, I love that this one showed the early stages, like when everyone is aware, but the deterioration hasn't quite hit the bad part yet. I loved how the relationship between Joni and Sebastian grew slowly. It was, I swear, y'all, it was so sweet. I mean, it was like candy sweet, candy corn sweet. I gave this a 4.25 out of 5. I don't know exactly what the point 25 was for, but hey, I mean, it was a good book. I recommend. And the last books that I want to talk about is the Wolf King series by Lauren um, Pau Pau Raymond. This is really 2 books because I read both last week during the Thanksgiving break, but the main premise can come from the first book. So let me tell you about it. On the eve of her unwanted marriage, Princess Aurora secretly visits a brutal dogfight where imprisoned werewolves battle for entertainment. When she impulsively saves a young wolf, she draws the attention of the ruthless Alpha and upends her fate. Soon after, Aurora is kidnapped, igniting a war between humans and wolves. But as she confronts her captor, forbidden attraction sparks between them, blurring the line between enemy and ally and threatening to unravel everything she's ever believed. Okay, listen, I'm obsessed with this series. If you have ever seen the series Outlander or read the book, Outlander, think Jamie Fraser accent, especially if you listen to the audiobook on this one, and surroundings like the Highlands, with an Akatar, a quarter of thorns and roses. But instead of fairies, it's werewolves and alphas. But also, we still like, if you've read the Akatar books, we still like Tamlin, even in the second book, even though we really, really like the other one in the love triangle too, who is supposed to be bad. Like, I adore him. He is delicious. But anyway, this was so good. I didn't expect it to be so good. I've had both of these books in my Kindle for Kindle, and I own the audiobooks. I've had them both for like half the year. First, I had the books in my Kindle. I heard about this series, and I heard because she was a self published author, and then she got picked up by traditional publishing. So they are the third book was supposed to be out, but since she got traditionally published, they are releasing the books. And the first one, The Wolf King, just came out traditionally published, and it's got its little special edition and everything. And now that I've read these books, that I will have to go get my trophies. But anyway, it was so good. It was so good. So I've had this book for forever, but when I was going to pick up my mom, this I couldn't find anything else to listen to. I listened on my podcast, and I was like, well, I'll just start this just to see how it is and see if it's worth it. And I came home and read all of the books, and it was just most excellent. Like I said, I didn't expect it to be so good, and it's been so long since a fantasy series hooked me that quickly and that thoroughly that I'm just in love. I must say I read some really good fantasy romantasy books this year, and all of them are part of a series. And I have been avoiding series like the plague because I've been starred by Sarah J. Maas, and I did not want to start another one, and a few other authors too. And I did not want to start another series that was not complete, but this year, I jumped in and did it anyway for like 3 or 4 books, and I am glad that I did. I gave the first book a 4 out of 5, but the second one got a 4.5 out of 5 because of the plot twists that I should have seen coming. It was excellently done. I mean, excellent. And so was the love triangle. It is in fact that it is an actual love triangle that gave it the extra points. As a matter of fact, I might have to change this to a 4.75, hell, maybe even a 5, because it was just so well done and so unexpectedly well done for me. I love it when a book surprises me because, I feel like I've read all the tropes and all the ways you can write a book. This is what we always talk about where sometimes you don't write the tropes. You don't write for the tropes, you write the story and then the tropes fall in. This is what this author did. So if you're into romantasy at all, check out this series. It starts off a little slow. I will say that. And I was a little annoyed by Aurora in the beginning because she's very naive, but it's worth it. It really is worth it. Anyway, so now that we've talked about that, let's go ahead and talk about bookish gifts because it is December, friends, and your bookish friends want gifts. As a book lover, I know that sometimes people get caught up in what exactly to get us for the holidays. It's really not that hard. We want books. We want something related to books. We want something to help us read more books, or we want something to hold all of our books. It's really, we are simple, we are easy to please. So I've got 5 things that I always recommend that work for the book lover in your life. Number 1, a gift card. Literally, you can never go wrong giving your book loving loved one a $25 gift card to their favorite bookstore. You can go to their local bookstore, their neighborhood bookstore. You can go to bookshop.org, or you can just give them a general Visa gift card and tell them in the card to go to the bookstore. Go forth and read. They will be happy. I promise you. I promise you, you can't go wrong. The second gift that I always recommend is Libro FM audio credits if you have a book lover who loves audiobooks. I am that person, by the way. Anyway, so that is always a good, and Libro FM is always running like specials where they will give you like bundles. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes for that. Okay, so for the third gift, I'm going to suggest for the physical book lover, book reader who likes to read before bed or in bed, I'm going to suggest my favorite little book light. Got it right here. See, it is so cute. It is so small. And you can change the color of the light and the strength of it. See, it comes on, the strength of it. You can change the color of it. It is fabulous. And it literally just, let me see, clips on to your book and your page, and you can have it in bed. It is awesome. Really, it is. The next thing on my list is a Kindle page turner. Listen, don't knock lazy reading. It is lovely just to click and your page turns. Yes, it's also as easy as a swipe, but listen, trust me. The Kindle lover in your life will love this gift. It is fabulous laziness at its best. My last thing that I want to suggest is a self-heating coffee mug because sometimes, I know this from personal experience, you get so caught up in a book that your coffee or your tea gets cold. And who wants a cold beverage while sitting under a blanket in a cozy chair on a cold, autumn, winter day while you're trying to read a book? You're not cozy anymore with a cold drink. You know what I mean? So it's perfect. It is really perfect gift. And I'm going to leave the link to all of those gifts right underneath in the show notes so that if you like them, you can grab them. Trust me, you'll be loved. Anyway, I hope one of these gifts is perfect for the book reader in your life or something to add to your own Christmas list. I personally have the coffee mug on mine. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The last thing I want to talk to you about today is the 2026 Pouring Over Books book club theme for next year. Next year, we are reading the late, great Toni Morrison. We are reading every standalone book of fiction she has written in order of publication. So, starting in January, we will be reading The Bluest Eye, her first book. It's a hard one, always on the banned book list, but it is also considered her easiest to read, even if the subject matter is very hard. Anyway, the way the book club works is that at the beginning of every month, I will send out information about the book and what sections, pages, or chapters we need to read per week. Usually have a month to read the book. Each week on Substack, I do lead a discussion on the portion of the book that we're supposed to read. You can choose to participate. It works better if we all participate because we are in community. But if you have not read that, you can always come back and check up on it later. I do come back into the chats and chit chat about it with you. Now, since this is Toni Morrison, there are usually more to the story than meets the eye. I specifically chose her because it's not always easy reading. It's not always enjoyable, but we will learn and we will study. And hopefully by the end of the year, we will be Toni Morrison experts. I invite you to join us, enter for the year, or you can even go month to month. You can look at the list. I'll leave the link to the post where you can see which month is going to be which book. You can even choose to join us on a specific, like if you've read the other ones and you just want to read the ones you haven't, you can join us that way, or you can join us for the whole year. Either way, for the month of December, to get 25% off membership, the link will be in the show notes, and I really, really hope to see you all there next year. Okay, friends, that is all for today. I will be back next week to discuss the Goodreads Choice Awards. I think the results come out this week, at the end of this week, or else I would have held this for a while, but we'll talk about it next week. I have thoughts already, and the winners haven't even been announced yet, but I'm going to use these last few episodes of the year to discuss some bookish things that the book community, I feel like, needs to reckon with because it's literally getting out of control, y'all. It's getting out of control. Anyway, so stay tuned with that. Anyway, as always, if you enjoyed listening, I would love it if you would follow me on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. And if you have a minute, please think about leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or sharing the podcast on social media. It helps us grow and find other bookish friends. If you'd like to connect with me, you can email me at portoverbookspod@gmail.com. And you can also connect with me over on my Instagram at LaShawn Wiltz or on TikTok at the same name. Thanks again, friends, for listening. I will talk to you later, friends. Bye.